I was going to say, I grew up in the country in Pennsylvania, and it was a big deal when McDonald's finally moved in, a few miles away, and so it's like, when you go to family reunions, there's a ton of food, and it's like this is an American lifestyle, and I, grew up with part of it. But luckily, my mom is a nurse, and so she'd always be iterating the nutrition content of whatever we were eating. But yeah, it's a human behavior and lifestyle thing to say, hey, we want abundance in food, and it's tied in with our, survival instincts of like, we want to eat more than what we actually need. And so yeah, how do you change these things? And then with respect to, fluctuations on circadian rhythm, it's like, man, but yeah, you sure can sleep well when you eat, 12,000 calories for dinner. Like, it's like
But
feels
it's
good
not,
going to sleep, but hey, you got
Yeah, but
is
you
it
get a lot
quality?
of, I mean,
Is it sleep quality? Like, is your sleep quality up or down with that? Because most people, if I have that much food and try to sleep on a very full stomach, I don't sleep well. I have a lot of dreams. I wake up a lot more.
mhm.
I'm more sensitive to noise. So how
Yeah,
is
that's
that
right.
good?
So it's something that feels good in the moment, but then you do actually suffer, and sometimes you feel it, sometimes you don't. But
Well, the question is, why do you need food at 9 o'clock at night?
that's
Well,
right.
Why do you have
why
the
do we need
desire
different
for
servings? Why
food
do we?
Because you drank
at
too
nine
much
o'clock at
coffee
night?
earlier in the day and you didn't get enough to eat
Yeah,
early.
but I just want to back up to actually one of your points from before, Blake, because you talked about, I believe you mentioned satiety hormones that were produced in the gut. And very, very specifically, I think you're referring to two, leptin and PYY6.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at those two, one's an acute one, one's more a little bit more long term that has that interplay. Leptin would have the interplay with insulin, and peptide PYY would be produced along with cholecystokinin in the CKK in the same place in the gut.
Hold on, hold on. Our audience might go, what?
Yeah.
Well, and
So
ghrelin too.
yeah, right. So those.
All tied into your adrenals, cortisol, everything. They all work together.
So I think there's,
That
there's a
messes
lot
up.
happening at 9 o'clock at night. It's probably cortisol levels aren't falling appropriately. You don't have the right circadian pressure. You may have had too many coffees that offset your adenosine pressure. And let me explain what that is. So ATP is the molecule that runs everything, right? Adenosine triphosphate. There's three phosphate groups on an adenosine molecule. High energy bonds. They throw a lot of energy into the system. Mitochondria love it. They produce things. That's what we do. Or we produce ATP out of the mitochondria. And then the ATP goes everywhere else to do the work. You build up adenosine. After you break those phosphates off, adenosine levels rise. That's adenosine pressure. So when you drink coffee, caffeine doesn't let your brain see the adenosine pressure. Okay. So that's what the anti-fatiguing effect of caffeine is. Now, it does a bunch of other things. We found out recently it's actually good for the gut, does a bunch of different things in the right dose, because it too is a metabolite that's produced by certain plants under stress, and it's necessary as it does things. And so what I find really interesting about that is that a lot of people don't realize the half-life of caffeine is 9 hours for most people.
That's
You have a
right.
coffee, it's 5 o'clock at night, say 100 milligrams, normal coffee. You still have 50 milligrams floating around at like what, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning?
But yeah, some people
Yeah.
are different too, even more.
Yeah, and they're either slower, it depends on your liver, you're right, CYP23A, I think it is. So my mom is a slow metabolizer for caffeine. Like if she has a coffee at 9, she's fine. She has anything afternoon, forget it.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Okay, my timer's going to go off. So we'll call this part one. Quickly, I guess let's add in, do you drink caffeine and how much, Dave?
Yeah, sure. I drink coffee. I like to have a coffee in the mornings. I now marry it with a green polyphenol rich powder. Actually, I just, and I don't do it every day, but I do it a lot because I find the greens give me a very clear head in the morning, along with what the caffeine is doing. So I actually sometimes use a green powder with caffeine in it. It's Greens Plus Genuine Health Extra Energy is what I use. I like it as a product. I'm in Canada too. How much coffee would I have a day? It's varying. The science of the microbiome suggests that having a approach like this, where you take a pulsed or a waved approach, is better. Like you don't eat tomatoes every day or whatever that looks like. So I would have between 1 and 4 coffees a day, depending. And I usually don't drink coffee after 2 to 2:30 p.m.
Okay, good advice. Blake?
Yeah, I'm about the same. I'll drink one or two in the morning, and then in the afternoon, if I have any, then I have trouble sleeping at night. So I'll do like matcha in the afternoon. But yeah, if I drink this at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, then yeah, I'm up till at least midnight.
Yeah.
Okay. I toggle. I go between different forms, different types, mostly morning, but I also, especially in the summers, love to just ice it down so it's really watered down. But I was actually born from a mother who was a major coffee drinker. Like, maybe that's why I'm messed up too. And while I was in the womb, she was drinking a lot of coffee. So I don't think I metabolize coffee the same as some people, because I do know that I can fall asleep pretty
Mm.
easily after coffee, and
Mhm.
it takes far too much. I don't like to drink that much at all anymore, but far too much for me to even get close to jittery level.
Mm.
I think it changes over time, but still.
I think actually, speaking of coffee, I think one of the things that's really special about coffee and maybe chocolate is that this is probably one of, if not the most commonly consumed polyphenol. It doesn't matter where you live. I think there are, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows this, but I think that there are 8 different types of viscous fibers or 8 different types of polyphenols. I can't remember which one it is offhand in coffee, and it has viscous fibers. One of those is number 8. I can't remember, but it has viscous fibers as well as this really nice polyphenol load. And you know what? People have to pause a little bit. You have to sip it. It's a routine and a ritual. Like, it's not just the thing. It's all the stuff that you're doing around it too, how you think you feel about how you feel after you have a coffee or how you feel when you don't have it. So there's that mental component too.
That's right. Well, and there's an addiction. Yeah, it's like a microcosm of human experience. There's an component to it. There's a euphoria seeking, thrill seeking component to it.
There's the tribal component for those who are starved.
Yeah, that's right.
I
Yeah,
mean, if you switch from coffee and just go to yerba mate, which is another caffeine delivery system, so use the Paraguayans. This is a good example. Like, they put things in a horn of a cow, and they actually have a metal. It's called bombalia, and you put a metal straw in there with a really flat, porous spoon end, and you pass it around everybody. Drink that in the morning.
I
So
worked for
when you
a
think
guy
about what
from
that does, yeah. So I mean, but you're getting microbiome a little bit as everyone passes that straw around. So it's a real community thing.
He came to visit a guy from Uruguay, and he was probably in his 30s or something. But he had the whole thing, and while we sat there and got coffee, he would whip it out and get hot water and make it, and then drink it out of the horn and everything. He's like, yeah, it's traditional. I'm like,
amazing, right?
I can tell it's traditional. And then he'd get little pieces in his teeth. He'd be like, oh yeah, this happens sometimes.
You know what? This is a great segue into the next topic.